Hello again. Let's begin from the northern region where the Tamale High Court, presided over by Justice Emmanuel Brew Plange, has announced the parliamentary election results for the Kpandai constituency and ordered a fresh poll within 30 days following a successful legal challenge. Well, the petition was filed by NDC candidate Daniel Wakpai, who claimed that the December 7th election was tainted by serious irregularities. He argued or alleged inconsistencies in Form 8A, the pink sheet, from 41 polling stations out of the total 152 polling stations, arguing that these breaches violated Regulations 39 and 43 of the Public Elections Regulations, CI 127. In its ruling, the court agreed that non-compliance with electoral regulations materially affected the integrity of the vote. It has accordingly ordered the Electoral Commission to conduct a rerun of the parliamentary election in the entire constituency. In his judgment, Justice Plange intervened decisively, demanding that the EC restore credibility by organizing a transparent repoll. Here is a lawyer for the petitioner, NDC's candidate Daniel Wakpai, and Rashid Tanko Computer, who is the Deputy Director of Elections for the governing NDC.
We must say that we are grateful to the court. We are grateful to counsel who assisted. As I introduced them, myself, Counsel Musa Mohammed, we had Eugene Aweti, we had George Adagbaja, and among others. For us, our case before the court was very simple. We had a rogue Electoral Commission district electoral officer who decided to abuse discretion. Now, what is important, and why this case is significant, is that at every district election collation center, there are certain rights that are preserved for the candidates. Now, when the polling station closes, you move to the district collation center, and that's the parliamentary collation center, and certain things can be done there, including asking for a recount of even the polling station. Now, when you say that there are disturbances at the collation center, the law is clear that you either adjourn it to the next day or you can adjourn it even for a week.
For having done justice to the good people of Kpandai. All along, the NDC has been saying that there are several crooked electoral officers who are bent on stealing people's mandates. And one of these is what has been exposed today. We said it time and again that the seat of Kpandai was the seat for the NDC. They rigged the election, and we've been saying it time and again that we will continue to expose crooked electoral officers who will continue to rig election. We will stop them. We will make sure that the NDC will prevent such rigging machinery of the then MPP and their crooked collaborators in the Electoral Commission. Clearly, the CI 127, if you look at Regulation 43, 1A up to H, spell out how collation of parliamentary election is done. You collect results based on two forms. We have from 1C and then from 1D. You assemble the results and then from 1C and then put the summaries on from 1D and declare the results.
Meanwhile, the sitting member of parliament for Kpandai, Matthew Nyindam of the New Patriotic Party, who was declared the winner in the December vote, and his lawyer, Sylvester Isang, say though they disagree with the decision, they will respect the court. They have filed for an appeal and stay of execution.
The heat up to the trial, we heard of several things, and we didn't take them for granted. We believe that the petition was frivolous, but the court has decided otherwise. So we respect the decision of the court, but we strongly disagree with the judgment, and we have already shown our aggrievement by filing a competent notice of appeal, and we've added a motion for stay of execution. As a lawyer, if you are picked certain information that judgment will be compromised, you prepare. So you come for the judgment with a notice of appeal in your pocket. And that was exactly what I did. And I had a section of my client that he should be bold, whatever decision that is affirmed, because we knew that was what was going to happen. So it's not even surprising at all. And so the only fight left for us is to follow the due process of the law, and that is by filing a notice of appeal. I want to put it on record that I'm still their MP. Although, like the lawyer said, we were in court. And before we came to court, I can say for sure that for about a week, we knew that things were not going to be right. Our opponents were jubilating. They were saying all manner of things in Kpandai. And they were too sure that this is the judgment they were going to get. But as law-abiding citizens, I want to put on record that, yes, we respect what the judge has said. We vehemently disagree with him. I know that I won the election with a difference of 3,734. That is a clear victory. And if you look at the pink sheets, it's on record that they've admitted that every single pink sheet was given to all the political parties. I have my 152 pink sheets. They have their 152 pink sheets. And if you put the results together, we have won the elections. For some reasons, powers that may be, they decided to come to court and knowing very well that maybe they'll be able to use the state's powers to overturn certain things. But I think that we are in a country that is governed by laws.
Well, let's have the conversation on the back of this and go on to Zoom now and speak to Director of Elections and Research at the New Patriotic Party, Evans Nimako, as well as the Deputy Director of Elections and IT for the NDC, Rashid Tanko Computer. Gentlemen, thank you very much for joining me this afternoon. Let me start with you, Evans. Your side says it disagrees with the court's decision. Tell us why.
Having me. Definitely. This cannot be a ruling that you expect that the New Patriotic Party will say it's a welcoming decision from a competent court of jurisdiction. For me, this is a dangerous ruling. The intent is to erode all the political and democratic gains we've made as a country. A petitioner comes to court with a plea that in 41 polling stations out of 152, there have been some infractions. And you then gave the ruling that assuming or that admitting that, yes, the 41, there were issues. 111 of them where there were no issues. The New Patriotic Party should admit that we go back to these polling stations and conduct another elections. What kind of dangerous ruling is this? What do they seek to achieve? It's the constituency that the party won with almost 4,000 difference. 53.47% of parliamentary votes. And you are telling me that you, the judge, will go beyond the plea of the petitioner. I don't think this is the way to go. And if the NDC think that they can bully their way in Kpandai, they must revise their notes. I've heard the young man, Rashid Tanko, speaking all over. This is not an ordinary issue. The New Patriotic Party has been very law-abiding. We will continue to respect decisions of the court. But you know, this is a petition, and it will not end here. Parliamentary resource petition terminates at the Court of Appeal. There are issues we've raised. In fact, the lawyers have filed stay. We are going to go beyond this, and so we'll see how it plays out.
Evans, I'll come back to you, but let me bring in Rashid Tanko Computer at this point. Rashid, grateful for your time this afternoon. Your party has been jubilating after this ruling, but your opponent from the MPP says that he disagrees with the ruling. What's your reaction to that?
Well, I mean, justice has been done with the good people of Kpandai today. I mean, they didn't vote for MPP. They actually voted for NDC, but their verdict was stolen by crooked electoral officers who collaborated with MPP to rig the elections. I mean, it was very clear. I thought my good friend Evans would have gone down, memorandum.
I think your platform is so big, you don't have to allow Rashid Tanko to be spinning out lies. I mean, this is not the way to go.
Evans, I'll give you the opportunity to respond to that. If you can kindly hold on for me to listen to Rashid Tanko Computer make his point. Mr. Tanko, please go ahead.
Well, it's very clear. I am looking at the meat of the matter. You know, when we filed the petition against them, he's talking about 41. Yes, these 41 issues that were raised in December when we started the process, we were telling them that the collation was not properly done. And today, I mentioned to you, when the judge was, we cross-examined the defendants over, and the second respondent happens to be the Electoral Commission. We pointed out to him, could he show us the form of which he did the collation, which is the Form 1C? None. He didn't have it. He didn't just have it. So on what basis did he arrive at Form 1D, the summary sheet? Where did he get it from? If not a crooked electoral officer, how can you collate a result? You don't have a collation form. The collation form is the aggregation of all the polling stations. The 152 should appear on that form. Then the summaries will now be taken to the Form 1D, of which you use it to declare. They don't have it. Nothing of that sort was happening. And you call this one elections? I'm not surprised NPP, that's how they do elections. You remember the episode of 2020? They did similar thing in Zabzugu. They just brought themselves to Tamale and declared themselves winners. That has been their modus operandi. But this time, we stood firm and said, no way, we won't accept this. And I'm not surprised the judge ruled. And in any case, my brother, they've spoken about, they've gone for appeal and state execution. Have they even gone to look at the reasoning behind the ruling? The judge just said our petition was upheld and that the reasoning will be given to us on Friday. You have not even seen it, and you've gone to file for appeal. What are you appealing for?
Rashid,
interesting how they are. You see how interesting the LPP can be.
Rashid, let me come in at this point. You mentioned that the Electoral Commission is incompetent. The Electoral Commission that supervised that election is incompetent. But per this judge's ruling, that is the same Electoral Commission that is going to supervise this election as well. Do you now have trust in the EC?
We are saying that the officer who conducted the election, the electoral officer there, was compromised and he did a very bad job.
Do you have any evidence to that effect?
Other evidence is why they have ruled against him. That's why they asked that you should go and rerun the election. That's the evidence. If we hadn't produced the evidence, couldn't have the judge has stopped him. That's why the judge said you should go back and rerun the election. He gave 30 days because he saw that the officer didn't do his job. He did a very bad job.
You make the allegation that he was compromised. By who?
By the MPP, of course. They are the beneficiary of his compromise. Wasn't it the people that he brought them to Tamale and declared them winners? At the time he was declaring them winners, did you see any NDC person around that?
Let me bring in Mr. Evans Nimako in at this point. Mr. Nimako, like I mentioned, I'll give you the opportunity to respond, and this is it. There's been several accusations that your opponent from the NDC is making. He says that the electoral officer who supervised that election was compromised by the MPP. Is that really the case?
I think once again, this is a baseless accusation. He won't have any basis, any evidence to support this needless submission on a big platform like this. You see, the NDC, this same incompetent Electoral Commission declared for them the presidential results. And today, they sit as the government in power. This same incompetent NDC were induced by the New Patriotic Party and got NDC majority in parliament. The irony of it. I mean, and you see, when you're having such serious conversation, you don't bring in computer. Excuse me. We are talking of a situation where a petitioner has gone to court that in 152 polling stations, there were infractions in 41. A court with the justice says that I am ordering that a new election be conducted for all the 152, and says that my ruling will be ready on Friday. So please, and you saying that we should sit, we cannot file anything at the court to demand what is rightful of us? Excuse me, but I'm saying that the New Patriotic Party were giving copies in each polling station. The results so announced by the presiding officers, 157. NDC were giving same copies of polling station by polling station results. Ask him whether the High Court judge took the pain to audit all the 152 polling station results before he gave out a ruling that is going to come out in writing on Friday.
Mr. Nimako,
I don't think this is the way. I don't think this is the way we should allow our democracy to travel. I don't think so. We've made huge gains, and this is not the way we must allow it to go.
Are you then suggesting that the judge should have rather ruled that the 41 polling stations which were sent to court where the NDC said there were infractions, elections should have been rerun in only those 41 polling stations and not the entire constituency? Is that what you're looking to suggest?
You would need to look at the merits of the issues brought before you. That a petitioner says 41, and you want to extend it to all the 152. What is the basis for that judgment? Did the justice take the pain to go through all these 152 polling station results? Is that what happened? And we today is just Monday. We went through a weekend. A justice coming to read his judgment says, today I make a pronouncement. My ruling is not ready until Friday.
Mr. Nimako, I'll come back to you, but let me bring in Rashid Tanko Computer. Mr. Computer, there have been accusations. People are reading a lot of meanings into this ruling. Like on social media over the weekend, there were people who were all over social media saying that there is an impending by-election at Kpandai even before this ruling came out. Is that to suggest that the NDC probably knew the possible outcome of this ruling? That is why most of your communicators started jubilating even before the judge made the pronouncement?
Look, we have been appearing before the judge. We have been cross-examining the first respondent and the second respondent.
Okay.
Both the NPP and then the Electoral Commission. We have cross-examined them severally. Evidence has been adduced. And it was very clear that they are in big trouble. In fact, the electoral officer himself, in one point, nearly collapsed because when he was being cross-examined, he brought some videos, and when he was cross-examined about the video himself, he himself was panting. He saw that very clear that he has messed up himself, and I'm sure somebody messed him up. They thought he could be protected by then administration, because clearly the evidence was so clear that he didn't do any collation. You cannot declare results when you don't collate it. My good friend is talking of pink sheets, and pink sheets. The fact that you have been given pink sheets, if those pink sheets are not collated, no results is declared. That's why we normally have collation centers. So when you are given pink sheets, the onus lies on the electoral officer to now make sure the returning officer put the results together. From 1C, ask him, where is their from 1C? He's talking of results. We brought the 41 as evidence to show that none of this was done. And that even at the time they ran away from Kpandai, the man did not collate any results. And then so it cannot be the case that he should be ruling on the only 41. He is going to rule based on all of them because they didn't collate any results whatsoever. They only concocted results internally here and put it on the summary sheet and announced Nyindam as a winner. That was very bad. That would have been a travesty of justice against the people of Kpandai, and that's why we stopped it. And that's why we made sure that it was stopped. So as to people announcing that there was a looming by-election and all that, they were following the court proceedings.
Yeah,
it was
but those people are not lawyers to jump into conclusion. They're not judges or lawyers to start jubilating before pronouncement of a judgment is made.
My brother, is it the first time pronouncement has been made and judgment tend to be different altogether? We saw it in this country severally. We saw it severally. Some people started jubilating, and then the court ruling came out and looked different. That cannot be a basis. The one we are saying that we were very sure in our mind and clear that we have done our homework where we have presented enough evidence to convince the judge that there was no collation. The election was not properly conducted, and that the officer involved was properly, in fact, compromised. Because that is not how the CI says you should conduct election for parliamentary elections. It's very clear. And my friend Evans is very much aware of that. That anytime we go for election, when it comes to parliamentary, we go in for two forms. From 1C and from 1B. You are not my friend anymore. You are not my friend anymore. Don't worry. Let's meet at Kpandai for a by-election. We'll slug it out over there because we need that seat.
Rashid, your friend Evans sought to suggest that, if anything, the rerun should have happened in the 41 polling stations that, your candidate sent to court. We've seen something like that happen in other constituencies where particular polling stations, reruns were held there. The Ablekuma North, for instance, which is very fresh in our minds. Don't you think that would have been a fair thing to do?
No, it wasn't only the 41 that had the problem. The 41 were just evidence to show that the man didn't do his work. It was just evidence. We're just adducing evidence with the 41, saying that, look at this 41 polling station. Look at how the man handled it and all these things. He didn't do anything. He just decided that he wanted Nyindam to be an MP, and that was it. Evans. And so our evidence was watertight, and that is why. So my brother Evans, let's allow sleeping dogs to lie and go and do the by-election.
Evans,
go and face each other over there.
Okay, Mr. Tanko, I'll come back to you. But Evans, the judge says there's a 30-day window for a by-election to happen. Is the MPP going to participate in that impending by-election?
Thank you. I think our legal team is taking the necessary step within the constitutional arrangement to ensure that what belongs to us is never taken away, as it happened in the case of Ablekuma North. I hope you quite remember that when the moment the New Patriotic Party conceded the presidential results, the NDC hooligans started attacking coalition centers.
Right.
And you see, Kenneth, I've said that this same corrupt, incompetent EC declared the NDC victors for the election. In the Kpandai constituency, the same returning officer declared the presidential results. Why was he not in the same position to declare the parliamentary in the same constituency? Because you, the NDC, took the decision to attack all coalition centers. And the man, with the advice from the Election Security Task Force, moved from Kpandai to Tamale, and this wouldn't have been the first time, and declared the results based on polling station by polling station results. So yes, a certain High Court judge has made a pronouncement. The New Patriotic Party is going to challenge it. Mind, we are law-abiding. We won't do anything untoward, but we will not allow our victory to be taken away from us, not in Kpandai constituency. This is not going to happen.
You're going to challenge it indeed, as you've made known, but is it going to be the case that you are still going to contest in the by-election? That's what I want to know.
There's not going to be any by-election.
Why? That's what the judge has said.
The pronouncement of the judge is not final.
Okay.
I told you, when it comes to parliamentary petition, it terminates at the Court of Appeal. You have High Court. Why do you think that is the final ruling of the justices? Why? No, we are not there yet at all.
Okay.
We are not there.
Tanko Computer, you've been listening in. Evans has made the point that this same presiding officer from the Electoral Commission, who you accuse of being incompetent, declared victory for John Dramani Mahama in last year's election. Why didn't you question that? And you're questioning the one that he declared victory for the MPP candidate in the Kpandai constituency.
My brother.
No, let me correct you. I didn't say John won the presidential in the constituency. I'm saying he declared the results presidential.
Right.
And Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia won in the Kpandai constituency.
Right.
That's the results.
Right. So why are you not challenging that? That's what he wants to know.
I think my brother got his figures wrong.
Okay.
The presidential election in Kpandai was won by His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. He got his figures wrong. He should go back and check his data. The presidential election in Kpandai was won by His Excellency John Dramani Mahama.
Then, Rashid, that makes it the more interesting because it's the same presiding officer. If I may, gentlemen.
Kenneth,
you know what?
I can share with you.
If I may, please.
I can share with you the presidential election results summary sheet from Kpandai constituency.
You see, that's why I'm telling you that that's where the problem is coming from.
December 2024. Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, 25,899. John Dramani Mahama, 25,364. Rashid, where are you getting your results from?
Mr. Rashid Tanko Computer, do you have counter figures to those figures that he just mentioned?
That's why I'm saying that. You see, he's referring to summary sheets. That's why I say they have problem with that. And that's why I'm saying the MPP themselves, they seem not to understand the kind of election they were participating in. Do you know that election, go and check the figures very well and check the parliamentary figures. You will get to see some variations in the figures as announced by the same officer. And that's why I'm telling you that if they think that they had won the election fairly, why are they running away from the by-election? Why do they think that they are running away from the by-election? So the question is very clear.
So
and we are saying that after the by-election,
we should go and run the presidential elections.
No,
that was
Mr. Nimako, respectfully.
That we should go and run presidential elections. Is that the analogy? Hey, is that your understanding of the electoral issues?
Evans, I'm saying that why not go prepare yourself? Let's face each other in the by-election. This straw that you people are holding on to, it won't help you. Because look, the evidence is so clear that whether you like it or not, there's going to be a by-election. You have not even seen the reasoning behind the ruling, and yet you are filing an appeal. I don't even know the veracity. When I read the appeal, I was just laughing. I said, these people, what kind of thinking is that? You are thinking for the judge. The judge has not even come out with his ruling. He just upheld our application, and yet you are already ahead of him. You see how they are. Fine, we are not worried. We are prepared for the by-election. In fact, as I speak now, we have started preparing the grounds to go in because we need the seat. The people of Kpandai need to be properly represented by the NDC in Parliament. And we are going to go all out to make sure that we win the seat back to the NDC. And that's what we are going to do. So we are not prepared. Look, this is their appeal and the state of execution. It's much ado about nothing. Nothing will come out from it. You will see the reason. And I'll just give you one example. That ask Evan, where is their Form 1C from that constituency? He should show us whether he has Form 1C. That shows that the results was properly collated. The 152 were all collated, and these are the summaries of the results. None, they don't have it. We're in court. We cross-examined them for all this thing. They couldn't produce even one. That's why we're so sure that this ruling was going to be in our favor. Because we can't allow this.
I want us to clear the confusion around the presidential results for Kpandai in 2024. So this is it. Mahamudu Bawumia of the MPP had 25,414, which is 49.93% of the vote. John Mahama of the NDC had 25,488 of the vote, which represents 50.07% of the vote. This is the final result that we have.
So you see why?
And then
you see why I'll tell you that NPP, they are masters of rigging election. They wanted to rig the results here.
Mr. Tanko, it still makes my question valid that if your candidate for the presidential elections was declared winner in this constituency and your candidate in the parliamentary elections was told that he didn't win, or the opponent was declared winner in the parliamentary results, why are you only saying that he's incompetent just because your parliamentary candidate could not win? Because it's the same person who supervised all the elections there.
You see, I'm telling you that I've just been vindicated. I told you that His Excellency John Dramani Mahama won in Kpandai. Evans was trying to rig the elections right now. He wanted to rig the election. We caught him red-handed. Look, if the officer had done his work as he did it for the presidential, then he was going to be declared winner. As you've seen it, we won the presidential. I didn't give you this figure because I refused to give you the figure because I know Evans. I wanted you to bring your own figure as an independent arbiter.
You did not.
And you brought it.
Did not.
And you saw that Evans was trying to rig the election here. Evans, you people stop rigging the election. Stop doing that. You see, now it's very clear.
I'll come back to you respectfully.
We are saying that if the officer had done his work properly and not been compromised to rig the election for Nyindam, the NDC was going to be declared winner as His Excellency John Dramani was declared winner. We were very clear in our mind on that.
It still begs the question, though. My question still hasn't been answered, Mr. Computer, because I wonder how the EC officer would want to rig for the parliamentary candidate, but wouldn't want to do same for the presidential candidate. But I need to give Mr. Nimako the chance to react to this at this point. I'll come back to you, Mr. Computer.
Look,
respectfully, I'll come back to you.
I'm just giving you reasons why it happened.
I'll come back to you. I'll come back to you to give me that reasons. But let me bring in Evans Nimako at this point. Mr. Nimako, you have some reactions to the claims that have been made by Tanko Computer.
Yeah, so I have with me here a copy of pink sheets that were given by the returning officer, signed by agent of candidates. I'm ready to share a copy with you. I don't know the source of your results, but here I have with me a pink sheet of presidential results signed by the returning officer for Kpandai constituency. And I'll stand by it.
This one is cooked one. This one is cooked.
And
it's
I'll
not proper one. That's not the pink sheet. This is a cooked one. Evans, you know it. These are the things people scan and
So what's on the pink sheet, Mr. Nimako? Please, if you could help
What
us.
is not proper pink sheet? It's
and I call the figures to you. And I'm saying that in this same constituency, the returning officer was able to put together the results for the presidential elections. The moment the gentleman was about to do same for the parliamentary, the NDC organized team, masterminded by Computer and co, decided to attack the coalition center. I wasn't the commander in charge of the election security that directed that they move to the regional EC office. So he can today be sitting where he's seated and be making huge pronouncements, even more than what a justice of court of competent jurisdiction will do, and pass judgment. I'm happy he's not a lawyer. I'm not a lawyer either. But if a justice is bold to make pronouncement, judgment, you want us to sit as New Patriotic Party and will not take legal steps to stop a ruling that is dangerous for our democracy. We should allow it. You'll be joking.
Mr. Nimako, so what's the way forward there? What cards are available for the MPP to use right now?
What I will let you know, what I will let the public know, is that the New Patriotic Party is confident that the good people of Kpandai voted for Matthew Nyindam to represent them in Parliament. For what has happened today, the legal team has taken steps to file stay of execution and file appeal at the Court of Appeal. We will continue to do what is right within the laws and ensure that our victory is not stolen away as they did in Ablekuma North. Computer, be informed as such.
Mr. Rashid Tanko Computer, I want to believe that the NDC, on the other hand, is preparing for this by-election, correct?
Oh, yes. In fact, we have started, Kra. We have started. We are in full gear as I speak now. I am still up there after the court ruling. I was in court, and then I'm in touch with my colleagues, and we are putting things together. We have started in earnest. I mean, it's very clear. There's going to be a by-election. And I was trying to give you reasons. Look, you see, my friend, they are masters of faking pink sheet. He just brought a concocted pink sheet. After you have given him the resource, he brought a different resource with a different pink sheet. That's how they are. They are masters in that area. And we'll continue to stop them from that kind of rigging machinery they have always put in place. But we are ready. In fact, we are ready to go for the by-election. It's going to be peaceful. In fact, we make sure that the good people of Kpandai will get proper representation. That is what we are doing. And then that is what we are very clear in our mind. It's going to be peaceful. You saw the other by-election we did. Akotia, very peaceful. We beat them to it. We went for some few polling stations at Ablekmanov. We beat them to it. We'll continue to beat them.
Right.
Because Ghanaians are fed up with MPP. Nobody is interested in the party again, MPP.
Okay.
They should go and do their reorganization. Look, the small respect they still have within the populace of this country, they should keep it and not appear in the by-election.
I hope you will not continue to granting the platform to spew out
Gentlemen, I'm afraid this is where we have to end the conversation. But thank you very much for joining me this afternoon. Rashid Tanko Computer is the Deputy Director of IT and Elections with the governing NDC. We also earlier heard Evans Nimako, who is the Director of Research and Elections with the opposition New Patriotic Party. Well, let's talk education this afternoon, because the Colleges of Education Teachers Association of Ghana, CTAG, has declared an indefinite nationwide strike effective today, Monday, the 24th day of November, accusing the government of failing to implement a National Labour Commission arbitral award issued over 2 years ago. According to a statement signed by CTAG President Maxwell Bunu and National Secretary Fidelis Kamai, the decision approved by the National Executive Committee in consultation with the National Council at an emergency meeting on the 19th of November follows persistent government inaction, leaving the Union Code no option but to withdraw all services across all 46 colleges of education. Here are details from that statement. And as you can see on your screen, it says the National Executive Committee, NEC, in consultation with the National Council of the Colleges of Education Teachers Association, CTAG, at its emergency meeting held on the 19th of November, has resolved to withdraw all services effective Monday, the 24th of November 2025. This decision follows government's failure to implement the National Labour Commission arbitral award issued on the 2nd of May 2023. It goes on to say that CTAG remains committed to quality teacher education. However, the government's persistent indifference, disregard for binding agreements, and failure to honor obligations under the NLC arbitral award of 2nd May 2023 have left the association with no alternative but to activate this industrial action. The strike has been necessitated by the government's refusal to address the following issues. 1. Non-payment of all year-round work compensation for additional duties performed in 2022 for the remaining 39 colleges of education, with only partial payment made to the Accra College of Education. 2. Outstanding book and research allowance arrears for the 2023-24 academic year. 3. Outstanding book and research allowance for the 2022-2023 academic year. 4. Outstanding book and research top-up arrears for the 2021-22 academic year owed to Akwa College of Education. 5. Downgrading of some experienced teaching staff who hold master's degrees in the colleges of education, which undermines professional dignity and violates agreed conditions of service and the Labour Act 2003, Act 651. CTAG previously cautioned in its 27th October press release that continued government inaction would leave the association with no option but to resort to industrial action Regrettably, this warning has not been heeded, compelling CTAC to proceed with the strike. So those are excerpts of the statement they released in relation to the declaration of industrial strike, which takes effect today. And joining me on Zoom now is the president of CTAC, Maxwell Bonu. Also on Zoom is the president of the Teacher Trainees Association of Ghana, Naninja Divine. Also on Zoom again is a labor expert, Austin Game. Thank you, gentlemen, for your time. Let me start with you, Maxwell. Some argue that your basis for the strike action is premature and unwarranted. Really, how do you respond to such positions?
So much, my brother, and good afternoon. Good afternoon to Divine and our counsel, Mr. Austin Game,
okay,
as well as your viewers. My brother, I don't know what is wrong with us in this country that, as a union leader, you would want to use diplomacy and peaceful engagement to resolve issues so that we don't get to the state that we have gotten to, and yet that rather doesn't work. Governments upon governments only understand strike action. That's the only time that they will pay particular attention to your concerns. However, you recall that 27th of October, we issued a press release in this country asking the government that our members are not happy with the way our outstanding issues have not been implemented as agreed upon, because these issues are part of our arbitral award that we won from the National Labour Commission on 2nd May 2023. This award is binding on every government. Governance is continuum. So if you have a previous government have made some effort, you have also taken over, you have migrated us, there are many concerns, have them addressed. We gave the government up to October ending. We never heard anything from anybody. Then that same press release we issued to National Labour Commission that is also served as a strike notice. The commission actually invited us on 5th of November. They summoned us for hearing, and we were there to explain our issues. That one, our all-year-round compensation for additional duty performed in the year 2022 has still not been paid to the remaining 39 colleges of education. That of Accra College, even, it was just part payment. Two, our 2023-2024 BRA, that is Book and Research Allowance, which is contingent on the migration of the staff onto the university salary structure, has also not been paid. Meanwhile, this Book and Research Allowance, we agreed with GTEC on 30th of April that they were going to add this the data on this to that of 2025 to be paid. But that did not happen. We follow up to the Minister of Finance and only realized from the Minister of Finance that GTEC had not submitted the data as we had agreed. When we started making checks, they later submitted it. Three, our all-year-round compensation for 2022-2023 is also contingent on migration, also has not been paid. And this BRA we are talking about, we had a meeting and made a strong case that this money we are talking about, it followed through an academic year. GTEC said that we did not win an award in 2022. So we said, okay, you take the 2022 components. Just as you have been doing to the traditional universities, you can pay us by pro rata. Pro rata here means that they're looking at the award, you are supposed to pay us retrospectively 1st January 2023. Therefore, anything that is within that year, we will qualify for it. So use the pro rata concept and pay. Just like you have recruited a lecturer into the university, maybe that the lecturer start lecturing in January, that's 2025. Meanwhile, the academic year started from 2024, 2025. So what they do is that they calculate from the time the lecturers start to work up to the end of the academic year and pay. So use the same concept and pay us the money. That also became a problem. Then we have our colleagues at Akwakeri College of Education, who are supposed to be paid a top-up of their book and research allowance. All other colleges were paid except Akwakeri. The last time they said that they didn't submit certain data, but all checks from the principal revealed that they have done everything that they were supposed to do. And yet, that college have been denied their top-up of the 2022. It's still outstanding. Then we also have our colleagues, experienced colleagues for that matter, who have a master's degree, but by GTEC at the time of migration, they said that the minimum qualification was going to be research master, that is MPhil, and therefore those colleagues were downgraded. We went and pleaded with them that these are colleagues who have served the institutions for 20, 25 years. Some are even due for migration. Some are even due for retirement, sorry.
Okay.
And therefore, the downgrading them wasn't a way to go, because the way the whole process went, we didn't have the opportunity to have what we call a certain period to allow them to actually upgrade themselves. Some concession must be granted. One, they are currently teaching just as any other qualified person in the college. So while they are teaching, why not grant them some allowance, for instance, online teaching support? They are doing research, so grant them book allowance at least, so that those allowances will cushion them. These are workers for Christ's sake. And the regulator said he was not going to grant anything. There are rules, they were not going to grant anything. So that has actually demoralized our colleagues. And in fact, it's unfortunate. So when we met the Labour Commission on the 5th, and Commission was not happy with the government team.
You mean on the 5th of this month? Is it the 5th of this month, you said?
Exactly so, 5th of November.
Okay. So
they invited us, they summoned us, so we were there as law-abiding citizens who were there and listened to the Commission. And the Commission asked us to reiterate the outstanding issues, which we did. Unfortunately, the legal versions that came from which the Salary Commission appeared to be new, so they didn't have a full grasp of the issue. So the Commission asked us to reiterate the issues to them, which we did. And they gave us 2 weeks that they should go back, so that after 2 weeks, they come back so that to tell them how they have resolved the issue. My brother, 2 weeks, that was 19th. We got there on the 19th. The story was the same. All that they could tell us was that the GTEC and Fair Wages, they have done the paperwork, and therefore the ball is the Court of Finance Ministry to release the money for payment. Meanwhile, we have gone to the Finance Ministry and they make all the necessary effort, and yet we didn't get the money. But Fair Wages and Salary Commission and GTEC are the body mandated by the state, paid to actually intervene in such matters to make sure that they resolve our issues. And if we have to even get there and we are not making any headway, and you are telling us that you have done the paperwork, then what do we do? Do we sit down and look on?
Maxwell, so do you see it this way, that negotiations are still ongoing, or you see that it has stalled?
My brother, we do not have any negotiation. We have ended negotiation long time ago.
Okay.
At the time that arbitral award was given, that ended any form of negotiation. We are not negotiating with anybody. When GTEC even disagree with some of the ruling of the Labour Commission, they have a window of 14 days to appeal. They never appeal. So that window too has been closed for them. So we are no longer negotiating. All that is needed is that they have to go to the state institution of finance and ensure that the money that the state owes us, those monies are released to us so that our colleagues can go and work. That is all that we are saying. Okay.
Maxwell Bunu, he's the national president of CTAC. Thank you very much. Let me bring in Austin Game, who's a labor expert. Mr. Game, grateful for your time this afternoon. Another day, another strike by a very familiar organization, CTAC. You've been listening in. Do you think they have a case this time?
Well, I hold a different view about the whole thing.
Okay.
I am not against anyone wanting to take a strike action under the circumstance. But is there a way resolving this matter without resorting to a strike action? Yes is the answer. Look, I am getting a little apprehensive about the whole country, the way from academia to some of my colleague professionals and everybody, the way we handle labor-related matters. If you don't handle it with care, you get a result you don't want to have. I'm a little troubled about it. My straightforward answer is that This matter, I have personally, together with my staff, we spend our time, money, energy, met with Mr. Bunu and his people and tried to talk to them. They have a genuine concern. I want to repeat it. They have a genuine concern and has to be addressed. When they talked to me, we invited them, sat with them, showed them the way forward, and prevailed on them. They would have gone on strike long ago. We prevailed on them. That's why they didn't go on strike in the first place. And went to Labour Commission. Labour Commission addressed part of the issue. There is a part still hanging around. My wish is that officers in government offices, government as they call it, is not their, they have an employer. Government is not their employer. They have an employer. That employer we all know is GTEC. And government only comes in with the negotiation part with Fair Wages and Salaries Commission. I think maybe the earlier the president takes steps to set up his emolument commission, the better, because what we have now, as he himself knows, will not work. We have all manner of mushroom of allowances. We have all manner of troubles in this country that if we want to live with it, this country will go down the drain. Is that to suggest that most of the allowances that are being demanded by CTAG really shouldn't be there in the first place? They should be cancelled? Not only CTAG. The whole system is polluted with mushroom of allowances. In salary administration, we don't do these kind of things. Mr. Game, but we're dealing with CTAG right now. That's why I want clarity. Yes, CTAG has like I said, they have a genuine problem. I sat with them, I reviewed the whole thing, and what it is that Labour Commission has invited them. They solve part of the problem. Part of it, they advise them to go and work collaboratively with CTAG and the other partners to enable them go to the Ministry of Finance and have their matter resolved. As it stands, I've picked information, reliable information, that both the Minister of Education and CTAG itself, they have invited Mr. Bunu and his team, the CTAG people, to appear before them tomorrow 9 a.m. in the morning, and also 2 p.m. with CTAG, to enable them, GTEC, to enable them work out the modalities of getting this matter resolved. So I can appeal to them, I can only appeal to them that under the circumstance, they will have to advise themselves and maybe stay off the strike, because the students are at their mercy, which is not the best. They are their customers. The students are their customers. And so they should not make them victims of circumstances because of somebody's miscalculation. About I know CTAG has a genuine case, but maybe the way we are all going about it is a problem. Mr. Austin Gama is a labor expert. Thank you very much for joining me this afternoon. Let's now bring in the president of the Teacher Trainees Association of Ghana, Naninja Divine. Mr. Divine, how is this going to affect the student population? Kindly unmute your microphone so we can hear you. Do I have Divine with me? Kindly unmute your microphone so yes, I can hear you now. I was asking, how is this strike action affecting students on campus, on the various campuses across the country, all 46 of them?
All right, thank you so much for the opportunity. I think that it will have been so good that this particular strike is declared even before the resuming date. But to allow students to travel all the way from their homes to the various campuses and only to be informed in the second week that the strike has been declared is so disturbing. And as we speak, nothing like course material is given to any of the students. No course outline whereby somebody can say or could say that maybe they can learn on their own. So it is very disturbing. is very, very disturbing, and we are worried. Even as we speak to, we have the level 400s who are also undertaking their mandatory SDS, what we call micro teaching. And all those people, they are not staying or they are not even using the school facilities. They're rented outside the schools and they are doing these micro teachings. And they are doing so many of the things on their own. And today only to be told that they will not be supervised and others. So it's very disturbing.
We know that most students come from far and near. Some come from the northern region to schools in the Greater Accra region to Kumasi, very far distances. How are those students coping? Are they returning back? What are they doing right now?
Yeah, I think we all received the communique or the letter from SICTA this morning. So as it stands, I can say boldly that all of them are still at their campuses and waiting to hear either from maybe something good or something positive from either SICTA or the important stakeholders, or maybe also listening or waiting to hear from us as the association leaders. But to me, as we speak, as an association, we are very, very, very disturbed. And we will say that if nothing positive happens this week, the best thing we could do, or the best thing that we will do, is that we advise our members to rather go back homes and wait until the whole issues or the strike is called off, and then they'll return and continue with their teaching and learning. And again, too, I also like to let you know that this time around, the association or we as the student leader, we are not ready to accept anything like halfway. Unlike what happened some years ago, whereby the strike prevailed for about 2 months. And after the strike, the teacher trainees were compelled to use 16 weeks to prepare for exams instead of the 14 weeks. So this time around, we are not ready for that. And if the strike prevails up to that time, we will not. And we'll make sure that the 14 weeks or the 12 weeks that they are supposed to take or they are supposed to go through, they will do that.
Naninja Divine is the president of TTAG. Thank you for joining me this afternoon. The Pulse returns after this break. And now at the Jubilee House is the Government Accountability Series, and it is now the turn of the Minister for Food and Agriculture, Eric Opoku, who is addressing Guineans. Let's take you there live.
MOFA will only supply locally sourced seeds to the Ghanaian farmers. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is instructive to note that the support of the Korean Plant Industries Association, KOPIA, with the support of the Korea Plant Industries Association, KOPIA, Ghanaian farmers are undergoing intensive training in seed production. At the same time, the Korean Rural Corporation is developing irrigation infrastructure on 100 hectares of land to support rice seed production. To ensure sustainability and affordability, the Korea Institute for Advancement of Technology, KIAT, has commissioned 1 megawatt solar farm to power the irrigation systems. With technical support from the Ministry of Energy, this project is expected to be completed in 2027. It will produce 10,000 tons of high-quality rice seed, and Ghana will be well on its way to rice seed independence. Similarly, the Japan International Cooperation Agency, JICA, in collaboration with the Ghana Irrigation Development Authority, is training rice seed producers in Weta, Botanga, and Tono. In addition, a memorandum of understanding has been signed with the government of the Netherlands to facilitate the technical and financial capacity building for the development of vegetable seed production in Ghana. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, let me at this juncture seize the opportunity to express our unqualified appreciation to KOPIA for making available 300 tons of Ejapa rice seed developed by the Council for Scientific and Industrial Research, CSIR, to support our rice farmers free of charge, and an additional 154 tons to support the lean season production. Seed testing capacity. With support from AGRA, the ministry has taken delivery of modern seed testing equipment for the Plant Protection and Regulatory Services Directorate for quality assurance of locally produced and imported seeds. Fertilizer quality control. AGRA has again supported the acquisition of fertilizer testing equipment for PPRSD, enhancing the ministry's ability to monitor and regulate fertilizer quality nationwide. Now, soil management. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, effective soil management is indispensable for enhanced crop productivity. It is against this background that, in partnership with the Food and Agricultural Organization, MOFA has taken delivery of state-of-the-art soil testing equipment, and the soil laboratory in Kumasi is being rehabilitated and retooled to international standards. Soil sampling and analysis across the country will commence in the early part of 2026. This initiative is crucial for developing soil-specific fertilizer blends and improving yield. It also enables us to determine crop suitability in specific areas for increased productivity. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, FAO, MOFA, and the Soil Research Institute of CSIR are collaborating to build a reliable scientific foundation for sustainable soil management and agricultural planning in Ghana. Weather information systems, building climate intelligence for agriculture. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, agricultural success today depends not only on land and labor, but on timely and accurate weather information. Climate variability and unpredictability are among the greatest risks our farmers face, and responding to these requires systems that generate, analyze, and disseminate data in real time. The ministry has made significant strides in transforming Ghana's agro-meteorological landscape. We have installed 20 automated weather stations across the country under the Ghana Meteorological Agency, GMET. These stations, unlike manual ones, collect data automatically 24/7, ensuring higher accuracy and consistency, faster data transmission to GMET central database, elimination of manual dependency for readings, enhanced forecasting, and eliminate modeling for disaster prevention and farm planning. Out of the 20 automated weather stations, 11 are located in senior high schools, where climate clubs have been formed to promote environmental literacy and ownership. This does not only provide fiscal security for the instruments, but also educates the next generation about climate-smart agriculture. The automated weather stations allow us to provide with precise and hyper-local advisories on rainfall patterns, temperature trends, wind conditions, and soil health, directly influencing planting, harvesting, and fertilizer application decisions. To integrate and analyze data from both manual and automated weather stations, the ministry is establishing a management information system. The system will enable real-time analysis, visualization, and dissemination of weather forecasts to support cropping decisions, food system planning, and early warning mechanisms. The supplier for the MIS has been shortlisted, and the evaluation report has been submitted to the World Bank for approval. Once completed, this MIS will serve as the digital backbone of Ghana's agro-meteorological intelligence. Another groundbreaking initiative in the climate model pilot, designed to strengthen early warning systems and improve farmers' access to actionable digital advisories. So far, 1,059 farmers across 15 regions have been receiving climate-smart agricultural advice via SMS and voice calls, helping them to prepare for planting and weather disruptions. The full launch of the climate model is scheduled for the first week of December 2025 and will reach tens of thousands more. Information dissemination infrastructure to ensure that weather data reaches all farmers regardless of location, the ministry has secured a partnership with the Ministry of Communication to send SMS alerts free of charge to farmers. Local FM stations and community information centers are being engaged to broadcast forecasts in local languages. Agricultural extension agents are being equipped with motorbikes to deliver forecasts directly to remote communities. Through our growing network of almost 70,000 community commodity farmer cooperatives, this information is disseminated in real time to support timely action. Furthermore, with the support of the Food and Agricultural Organization, FAO, the Event Application Plus, EMA Plus, a modern tool that represents a new milestone in the journey of Ghana towards enhancing animal health surveillance, disease notification, and early warning systems, has been developed and deployed to strengthen early detection and rapid response to livestock disease. This was launched on 25th September 2025 by Magusev, and under this system, once a farmer observes any abnormal symptoms, they can immediately log the case on the EMA Plus platform, which transmits the report to the Central Diagnostic Laboratory in Accra. The laboratory, now fully equipped and retooled, conducts rapid diagnosis and provide immediate feedback to guide treatment. The EMA Plus platform is protecting the investment of our farmers by ensuring timely intervention, reducing disease spread, and safeguarding animal health and environmental safety and food quality. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, with these comprehensive systems in place, Ghana is entering a new era of climate-smart agriculture, where technology, data, and local knowledge work hand in hand to safeguard the livelihoods of our farmers and the food security of our nation. This is agriculture anchored on data and technology. Delivering the Agriculture for Economic Transformation agenda through the Feed Ghana program. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, to operationalize the Agriculture for Economic Transformation agenda, MOFA has rolled out the Feed Ghana program as a flagship implementation framework. This program translates the high-level goals of ITA into visible, ground-level interventions that are restoring hope, reviving agricultural enterprises, and reclaiming Ghana's food sovereignty. Under the Feed Ghana program, we want to achieve two major things. One, food sufficiency, to be able to feed every Ghanaian here from local resources. And two, provide constant and uninterrupted supply of raw materials for industrial operations to support the government broad policy of the 24-hour economy. Allow me to walk you through the key pillars of the Feed Ghana program, detailing what we have achieved in the last 10 months. Campaign to stimulate national interest in agriculture. Feed Ghana becomes a national movement. The first leg of the Feed Ghana program is a nationwide campaign to stimulate patriotism, interest, and participation in agriculture. What began as a policy intervention has now evolved to a national movement, a rallying call to institutions, youth, and communities to take ownership of Ghana's agricultural revival. Under this campaign, several public and private institutions are actively engaged in institutional farming. This includes the Ghana Armed Forces, the Ghana Prison Service, the National Service Authority, 413 senior high schools, junior high schools, and primary schools, public universities such as the University of Ghana, KNUST, UCC, UDS, Ho Technical University, University of Energy and Natural Resources, etc., etc. Faith-based organizations, including churches and mosques. This growing participation is a testimony to the fact that today, the Feed Ghana program is currently the cynosure of all Ghanaians. It has rekindled a national spirit of food independence and restored dignity to farming. Home gardening. As part of the Feed Ghana campaign, a clarion call has been made to all households to engage in home gardening to help reduce household expenditure on food, especially vegetables. The participation has been massive and incredible, even though the campaign has not achieved its full objectives. It has been a passable endeavor. To sustain this home gardening program, MOFA is establishing nurseries at the district departments of agriculture across the country to improve household access to the seedlings of various vegetables. Irrigation for wealth creation, ending rain-dependent agriculture. A critical enabler for food sufficiency under the Feed Ghana program is irrigation infrastructure. To ensure all year-round production and climate resilience, MOFA is aggressively shifting Ghana's agriculture from rain-fed production to irrigation-based farming. This, in the wisdom of His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Ghana, John Dramani Mahama, would facilitate our journey towards food security. Key developments in the past 9 months include construction of 10 new small dams, rehabilitation of 8 existing irrigation dams, 250 solar-powered boreholes for farming communities and second cycle schools across the 5 regions of the North, Bono, and Ahafo regions. We are also rehabilitating the following irrigation schemes: via irrigation scheme in Bogatanga and Bongo district of the Upper East region to cover land size of 850 hectares. Without irrigation scheme in Ketu North, municipal of the Volta region, to cover land size of 880 hectares. Tanoso irrigation scheme in Techiman, municipal of the Bono East region, to cover land size of 100 hectares. Ashaman irrigation scheme in Greater Accra, land size of 200 hectares. Aveime irrigation scheme in the Volta region, land size of 245 hectares. It must be stated here that Canada has donated 25 solar-powered boreholes. 15 have been completed, and the remaining 10 will be completed in the first quarter of 2026. The European Union, through FAO, have also donated 45 solar-powered boreholes for selected districts in the northern part of the country. Processes have begun for the construction of the following new inland valleys for rice production. 1, Anunuso Inland Valley in Anunuso, Brofuyedu, Nkwankwanua, and Awaham communities in the Ashanti region to cover land size of 175 hectares. Atonsu Inland Valley in Atonsu and Abramaso communities in the Ashanti region to cover land size of 150 hectares. Kawampe Inland Valley in Kawampe, Tamfuto, Kaka, Tadifufuo, Tahiruekura, Chiranda, Atekura, and Abrewa Nko communities in the Bono East region. This is to cover 647 hectares. Odaho and Odamu Inland Valleys in Yankroma and then Doniaso communities in the Ashanti region, land size of 114 hectares. Wamukumi Inland Valley in Wamukumi and Ofenhu communities in the Ashanti region, land size of 114 hectares. Additionally, FSRP is supporting the implementation of several pipeline irrigation projects. These interventions are designed not only to support smallholders, but also to anchor commercial farming clusters. Now, farmer service centers. Mechanization for modern agriculture. Mechanization is a fundamental requirement for modern agriculture. Under the Feed Ghana program, the ministry is establishing farmer service centers across the country. Procurement processes will soon begin for the acquisition of 660 tractors, 400 combine harvesters, and related equipment. In total, over 4,000 pieces of agricultural machinery and implements are being mobilized to equip the first 50 farmer service centers. These centers will provide services such as land preparation, input supply, harvesting support, storage facilities, extension advisory services, market linkage, and equipment leasing at affordable rates, especially to smallholder farmers. Agricultural extension officers, strengthening the front line of knowledge transfer. Ladies and gentlemen, the role of agricultural extension officers cannot be overemphasized. They are the bridge between research and farming practices, bringing innovation and science to the farm gate. However, the current extension agent to farmer ratio in Ghana is far below the international standard. While the acceptable ratio is 1 AEA to 500 farmers in Ghana, it is 1 AEA to over 1,500 farmers. This gap constrains knowledge transfer and adoption of modern agricultural practices. To address this, MOFA plans to procure 540 motorbikes to facilitate AEA mobility. 150 of these motorbikes were distributed on Tuesday, 22nd July 2025. A total of 400 AEAs are being recruited as Feed Ghana coordinators for all the districts. Their motorbikes are being readied for deployment. It is our hope that the Ghana Food Brigade will be launched before the end of December this year. In addition, 10,000 youth are being enrolled on the National Service Scheme under a 4-year program. Each year, a portion of these youth will be retained as permanent ministry staff to augment agricultural extension delivery. This is to clear the backlog of students who have completed the ministry's agricultural and veterinary colleges from 2015 up to date and have not been posted. By investing in the front line of service delivery, MOFA is cementing the foundation for modern, climate-smart, and data-driven agriculture. Cooperatives, building the social infrastructure for economic transformation. To ensure scale, coordination, and inclusivity, MOFA is placing community commodity-focused farmer cooperatives at the heart of agricultural transformation. These cooperatives are not just for aggregation and marketing. They are being positioned as platforms for training, finance, mechanization, input access, and climate adaptation. As of 11th October 2025, a total of 70,000 community commodity-focused cooperatives have been established across the country. These cooperatives are being integrated into every major intervention, from mechanization to weather advisory, ensuring no farmer is left behind. This is to give the farmers a voice in all agricultural matters. Once they are into cooperatives, they can negotiate for reasonable prices for inputs and reasonable prices for outputs. They can also enjoy the advantages of economies of scale as they live in the same area and produce the same commodity. They can share ideas and prefer solutions to challenges confronting them together. Now, value addition, which is a critical pillar of the Feed Ghana program. Private sector as engine of agro-industrialization. Value addition is essential for job creation, price stabilization, and export diversification. Some notable private sector investments that MOFA will be linking to our well-organized community commodity-focused farmer cooperatives and farmer service centers to ensure a reliable supply of raw materials for processing include Chirajia Farms Limited in Tono is installing rice processing equipment valued at $23,000 providing market access to rice farmers in Tono and Northeast regions. A2 Agro Allied Company is setting up a state-of-the-art poultry feed processing facility in Kase Ashanti region. Nadkansco Processing Limited is establishing an agro-industrial facility in Techiman to process cashew. Obapak Company Limited is also establishing an agro-industrial facility in Techiman to process onion. A 154 million euro investment by the government of Italy in partnership with BF International aimed at transforming large-scale commercial agriculture in Ghana has been secured. Under this initiative, a 10,000-hectare irrigated model farm will be developed for the production of rice, maize, soya, and tomato on an all-year-round basis. As part of the project, Sihiam Bari, an agency of the Italian government, will collaborate with the West African Center for Crop Improvement, WACI, of the University of Ghana to establish a national seed bank, while partnering with the Council for Scientific and Industrial Research, CSIR, to implement a comprehensive soil testing and suitability program. They will also build schools, hospitals, ICT centers, and community centers for all communities within the production enclaves. Government, with the support of development partners, is setting up a new soya processing plant in northern Ghana to process soya beans into soya cake and oil. While the oil is edible, the cake will contribute to a reduction in poultry feed costs in Ghana. The capacity of the soya plant is 40 metric tons per day at an estimated cost of $370,000. This will provide guaranteed markets for soya farmers in northern Ghana. I am happy to report that the soil cutting ceremony will be done in early 2026. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, additional support is being mobilized for the share value chain. In this regard, the PBC Share Board has been inaugurated, and the PBC Share Butter Factory, established in 2015 by His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, and which collapsed in 2019 under the MPP government, has been revamped in the last 10 months. We now have a contract to supply shea butter to Netherlands and other countries. Ghana shea butter is considered premium in the world market, and we must expand our shea processing capacity to take advantage of the growing demand for shea butter. Steps are therefore being taken to restrict the export of raw shea nuts. Let me repeat that. Steps are therefore being taken to restrict the export of raw shea nuts. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the Agence Française Développement is also providing resources under the Boost Ecological Transition Towards Enhanced Revenue Better project for the development of the shea industry. A total of 4 million euros is earmarked for the development of the shea industry. Now, Vegetable Development Project, Yeridua, advancing vegetable production for food security and import substitution. Distinguished guests, fellow Ghanaians, as part of government's broader agricultural diversification agenda, the ministry is implementing the Vegetable Development Project, Yeridua, a strategic intervention to transform the vegetable subsector and reduce the country's dependence on imports. This project will be launched by His Excellency John Dramani Mahama this coming Thursday, 27th of November 2025, in Kukuom in the Ahafo region. To address the issue of post-harvest glut and price volatility, partnerships have been established with Farm-Made Tomato Company and the Tomato Women Association to offtake harvested produce at the farm gate. The ministry is also promoting cluster farming models to ease aggregation and transport logistics for large-scale buyers, avoiding the inefficiencies associated with scattered smallholder farms. With a generous grant support of $3.17 million from the government of Norway, the ministry is leading the implementation of a targeted tomato initiative focused on 4 interlinked pillars: seed development, certified seed production, productivity enhancement, and market systems development. Now, poultry industry revitalization, empowering local producers and reducing imports. Distinguished guests, fellow Ghanaians, a critical pillar of the Feed Ghana program is the revitalization of Ghana's poultry industry, a sector with vast potential to drive import substitution, job creation, and national food security. In alignment with government's commitment to reduce Ghana's annual poultry import bill, estimated between $300 million and $400 million, a set of complementary interventions has been launched to boost both commercial and household level poultry production. Under the Poultry Industry Revitalization Program, 3 interventions are being rolled out to scale Ghana's poultry production, namely Poultry Farm to the Table project. Under this project, anchor farmers and outgrower support are being provided. 50 anchor poultry farmers have been selected for 80,000 birds each. With other logistical support, the target is to produce 4 million birds from this program. The Poultry Intensification Program. This program is being implemented by FSRP. Under this program, 500 small to medium-scale poultry farmers selected from across the country are being empowered to produce 3 million birds. Then the almighty Nkukon Ketenkete initiative, backyard poultry for nutrition and livelihoods. To enhance food security at the grassroots, the ministry is rolling out the Nkukon Ketenkete initiative, a backyard poultry farming program targeting the production of a total of 3 million birds with a strong focus on women and youth. Under this initiative, vulnerable households will be supported with pullets and basic production inputs. The objective is to improve household nutrition, enhance livelihoods, promote community-based food systems, and whip up interests of Ghanaian women and youth in poultry production. The Nkukon Ketenkete program was launched on 12 November 2025 by His Excellency the President of the Republic of Ghana for immediate distribution of 3 million birds to all constituencies of this country. Under this program, every constituency is receiving 10,000 birds with feed. And as we speak, our teams are on the field distributing to the various constituencies. It is our hope that within the next 3 weeks, every, or maximum 1 month, every constituency in this country will be served. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it must be noted that 13,000 farmers in 12 selected districts have received 720,000 birds. The districts are Tamale Metro, Wa Municipal, Nanton, Savelugu, Mion, Karachi East, Boko West, West Gonja, Nandom, Sisala East, East Mamprusi, and Mamprugu Mwaduri. In some cases, battery cages were distributed to support backyard poultry production, especially those who are doing the layers. This was the pilot for the ministry to appreciate the associated risks of the Nkoko Nketenkete program. The program has been very successful, and hence the need for immediate rollout. This targeted intervention seeks to uplift vulnerable communities, particularly women-headed households, by enabling them to contribute meaningfully to local food production while improving nutrition and income security at the grassroots level. Ladies and gentlemen, looking at the huge investment we are making in the poultry subsector and the vigorous campaign for participation that the ministry has launched, we anticipate that the nation is going to produce a lot of poultry in the coming months. Hence, our decision to set up a poultry processing factory in Bechem. The procurement processes for the factory have been completed, and the soil cutting ceremony will be performed by His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Ghana, on Thursday, 27th November 2025. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, collectively, these poultry-focused interventions represent a coordinated national effort to substantially reduce Ghana's reliance on imported poultry products, create sustainable employment opportunities for youth and women, improve access to affordable protein-rich food, strengthen resilience across the domestic poultry value chain. The ministry remains fully committed to empowering both large-scale poultry enterprises and smallholder farmers to reclaim the domestic poultry market and secure Ghana's food future. Now, livestock breeding and dairy stations. The Amrahia Dairy Farms is receiving special attention within the ministry's broader agenda to enhance the nation's livestock breeding and dairy systems. The rehabilitation and restocking of the Amrahia Dairy Project is underway to produce milk, cheese, and other related products to meet the nutritional needs of our people. The National Food Buffer Stock Company, NAFCO, 100 million Ghana cedis has been released to NAFCO to mop up excess produce in the market and store them against emergencies. For the first time in our history, Ghana is building national food buffer against emergencies. This is to strengthen national preparedness against emergencies while stabilizing market prices for both producers and consumers. Now, Tree Crop Development Authority, accelerating industrialization and export diversification. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, tree crops continue to play a pivotal role in Ghana's economic transformation agenda, serving as a key driver for industrialization, export diversification, rural income generation, and job creation. Under the leadership of the Tree Crop Development Authority, significant progress has been made in promoting, regulating, and coordinating the development of 6 strategic cash crops, namely cashew, oil palm, rubber, shea, coconut, and mango. These commodities remain central to the government plan to diversify exports, create employment, and improve livelihoods across all regions of the country. Major programs and interventions. 2 flagship programs are currently driving the implementation of TCDS mandate. The Ghana Tree Crops Diversification Project is a 1 million initiative aimed at enhancing economic, social, and climate resilience in the cashew, coconut, and rubber value chains. Under this project, over 6 million elite seedlings are being distributed free of charge to 10,000 registered farmers on the Ghana Agricultural Actors platform. By 2026, distribution targets include 3 million cashew seedlings and 8,500 farmers, 2 million coconut seedlings for 1,200 farmers, and 1 million rubber seedlings for 300 farmers across selected districts. Agro-input support packages are being provided to 10,000 farmers to increase productivity and enhance climate adaptation. 15 processing enterprises in the cashew, rubber, and coconut sectors have been shortlisted to receive matching grant support to expand processing capacity and generate employment. 2 research institutions are receiving logistical support, including pickup vehicles, to strengthen field research and innovation in tree crops. TCDA has also developed and operationalized a policy framework for a social development unit and child labor desk, ensuring gender inclusion, social safeguards, and the elimination of child labor within the tree crop sector. Furthermore, a grievance redress mechanism has been launched with toll-free lines and a web-based reporting system to promote transparency and accountability in project implementation. The Ghana Private Sector Competitiveness Program Phase 2. This is a CHF 9 million bilateral partnership between the Government of Ghana and the Swiss State Secretariat for Economic Affairs, SECO, implemented by NIRAS and Proforest. The program focuses on enhancing trade competitiveness in the cashew and oil palm value chains. A national policy dialogue on cashew and oil palm was convened in Accra in July 2025 to harmonize policies and improve coordination among key stakeholders. A matching grant facility of CHF 850,000 has been established to support local processors in upgrading equipment and improving processing efficiency, among others. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the work of the Tree Crop Development Authority is a cornerstone of Ghana's agricultural transformation. Through effective regulation, strategic partnership, and targeted investment, TCDA is positioning the tree crop sector as a driver of value addition, industrialization, export growth, and sustainable livelihoods. The ministry remains committed to supporting TCDA to ensure that Ghana's tree crops, from cashew to shea, become engines of national prosperity, contributing significantly to GDP growth, foreign exchange earnings, and the well-being of our farmers. Now, $1 million USD revolving fund unveiled to strengthen agricultural development in northern region. To ensure the sustainability of ongoing agricultural interventions in northern Ghana, the ministry has operationalized a $1 million revolving fund to provide low-interest financial support to value chain actors across the agricultural ecosystem. The fund is designed to enhance access to affordable credit, particularly for smallholder farmers, women and youth, enabling them to expand their operations, improve productivity, and invest in modern farming practices. By facilitating continuous reinvestment, the revolving fund serves as a financial lifeline for producers, input dealers, aggregators, and processors within the Northern Savannah Ecological Zone. Through this mechanism, the ministry seeks to strengthen the financial resilience of farming communities and to ensure that beneficiaries of donor-supported projects such as Savannah Investment Program and the Global Agricultural and Food Security Program, GAFS, continue to thrive even beyond the project life cycles. This initiative forms part of government's broader commitment to building sustainable and inclusive rural economies, ensuring that progress in agricultural productivity is matched by improved access to finance and enterprise growth opportunities. Ladies and gentlemen, 20 million agro input distribution project launched under the Global Agriculture and Food Security Program. Under this program, additional financing to the Savannah Investment Program to boost food and nutrition security has been secured. I personally launched this program in Tamale some few months ago. Under the Global Agriculture and Food Security Program, GAFS, additional financing to the Savannah Investment Program, government has launched a 20 million agro input distribution project aimed at boosting food and nutrition security across the Northern Savannah Ecological Zone. The project, implemented in 12 districts across 6 regions, Northern Savannah, Northeast, Upper East, Upper West, and OT, targets 50,000 farming households, including 30,000 women and youth. It focuses on the production of key staples, maize, rice, soybean, cowpea, and groundnut, and promotes year-round vegetable cultivation through solar-powered micro-irrigation schemes for farmer groups and selected schools. To strengthen the poultry value chain, the project also supports both household and commercial poultry production. This includes the distribution of 50,000 4-week-old guinea kits to 5,000 households for backyard poultry products or production. 50,000 14-week-old pullets to 500 female farmers for egg production, and 50,000 broilers and 50,000 guinea fowls to commercial poultry farmers at a 50% subsidy on day-old chicks, complemented by feed, vaccines, and medication. In addition, the project facilitates the distribution of critical fertilizer and seed inputs to participating districts, including 46,400 bags, 50 kg of NPK fertilizer for maize, 1,080 bags, 50 kg of fertilizer for rice, 5,200 bags, 50 kg of fertilizer for soybean, 23,740 bags, 50 kg of urea, 15,460 bags, 50 kg of organic fertilizer for vegetables, 4,400 bags, 50 kg of rice seed, 520 bags, 50 kg of soybean seed, 100 bags, 50 kg of cowpea seed, 5,000 bags, 50 kg of maize seed. This comprehensive support package is a testament to government's commitment to enhancing productivity, improving livelihoods, and ensuring national food security. The initiative, implemented with the technical support of the African Development Bank and generous funding from GAFS, represent a strategic scale-up of proven interventions under the Savannah Investment Program, fully aligned with the Feed Ghana program and Ghana's food system transformation agenda. Ladies and gentlemen, these initiatives collectively represent not just a reset, but a resurgence of Ghana's agricultural sector. We are rebuilding the food systems from the ground up with resilience, sustainability, security, and equity at the center. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, let me also indicate that the Nkukwan Ketenkete program has attracted a lot of support. The European Union has given us 150 bears, 150,000 day-old chicks to support the Nkukwan Ketenkete program. 150,000 of them. Now, conclusion. The road ahead for agricultural transformation. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the past 10 months have been a period of urgent action, bold reforms, and determined implementation. Under the visionary leadership of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, the Minister of Food and Agriculture has not only diagnosed the deep-rooted challenges of our agricultural system, but has also begun the necessary groundwork to restructure that system for the future. from institutional farming campaigns, farmer cooperatives, irrigation development, value addition, agricultural mechanization to weather prediction systems, the ministry has laid the critical cornerstones for a resilient, productive, and inclusive food economy. Ladies and gentlemen, our work is far from done. Ghana still imports what we can grow. Our rural youth still migrates in search of jobs that agriculture can provide. Our farmers still face risks that can be prevented with the right investment, tools, information, and access. And our economy remains vulnerable to external shocks that a strong domestic food system can buffer. That is why the ministry's focus over the next year will be on the following key priorities: consolidation and expansion of Feed Ghana interventions, including scaling up irrigation and mechanization coverage, deepening the integration of farmer cooperatives into all service delivery models, operationalizing the full chain of local seed production, certification, and distribution, strengthening agricultural research and innovation systems by modernizing our research infrastructure in partnership with CSIR, bridging the gap between research findings and field application through better resource AEs and digital platforms, public-private partnership for agro-industrialization to expand the investment pipeline under SIP, SADEP, and other frameworks, promote inclusive value chains that engage women, youth, and smallholders, climate resilience, and sustainable land use for rolling out climate smart agriculture technologies across all districts, and leveraging digital tools and remote sensing for land restoration, planning, and resource optimization, job creation and youth employment, entailing the acceleration of the National Service Agripreneur Track under the Feed Ghana program, transitioning of successful service personnel into long-term agribusiness ventures and the public sector, digitalization of agricultural services for operationalizing agricultural data systems to support farmer registration, traceability, subsidy targeting, and market access, enhancing real-time data sharing among key stakeholders through digital dashboards and MIS platforms. My brothers and sisters, in all these endeavors, we remain guided by the vision of the President that agriculture must no longer be seen as a way of life, but as a business, a strategic growth sector that will drive employment, industrialization, and food sovereignty for Ghana. On behalf of the ministry, I wish to assure His Excellency and the good people of Ghana that we are committed to delivering results with urgency, integrity, and accountability. We are fully aware that the mandate we hold is not just administrative, it is generational. It is about transforming the fortunes of our farmers, empowering the youth, reducing our import dependency, and ensuring that every Ghanaian child, regardless of where they are born, can access nutritious, affordable, and locally grown food. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, let me end by thanking all our partners, bilateral and multilateral institutions, traditional authorities, farmer-based organizations, private agribusinesses, and most importantly, the Ghanaian farmer whose resilience continues to inspire us all. Let us move forward. Let us move forward, not just with policy, but with purpose. Let us feed Ghana. Let us eat Ghana. Let us restructure agriculture. Let us transform our economy. And let us build the future together.
Thank you, and may God bless you all. Well, that, by every indication, was a very comprehensive briefing, which has touched on just about every aspect of the agriculture sector. At this juncture, we'll zoom straight into a question and answer session, so that if journalists present have any questions regarding the presentation made by the minister or any other matter relating to the sector that he heads, they may step forward and ask those questions. So, as is the usual rubric, identify yourself and then go straight to the question. Because of time, you'll be restricted to just one question, please. All right, I'll give you a special dispensation, being the first to come to the microphone. So please pull it up. And then, yeah. All right, please go ahead.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. Everything that has been said here is geared towards. My name is Ethia, GBC. Everything that has been said here is geared towards increased food production. What is the ministry doing about provision of storage facilities to avoid food gluts or post-harvest losses? And let me chip in this last one. Honorable Minister, for about 3 or so days now, there's been a video trending on social media